Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your favorite show. First of all, we would like to apologize for not being on air last week. It was our youth week, so we needed to give honor to whom honor was due. So we gave them the opportunity to, take the week to themselves. So we took that time off because we were also helping in one way or the other. So thank you once again. And how was your day? My day was good. My day was good for some strange reason. It was good.
Strange.
I was doing the things that I don't like, but it was good. So that was good. Let me start from the guys. How was your day?
Long.
Still.
Yeah, you guys made it longer. Wow.
Prince, how was your day?
My day was short.
Whose day was medium here, ladies?
My day was long.
Mine was extremely fabulous.
The long day was a couple's day.
It was some long day. So, to just let us know what your day has been like. We've told you it was long, short, and fabulous. So just send in your comments. Let us know what your day has been like. But I'll introduce myself first of all. My name is Chidima. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time and do not have a clue who I am Chidima. I am the host for today. And I will introduce everyone here. No preference to whether it's guys first or ladies first. I'll start with my very far left. I've got Prince, the doctor in the house.
Guys.
Prince. And I've also got Clinton here. Special request. A lot of people have been requesting for them to come back to the show. So we've got them here as well. And I'll go to the very far right. I've got Busola. Hey, baby.
Hey, babe.
And I've got Sharon.
Hey
So,
guys.
thank you everyone once again. And some of you may be wondering what we are discussing today. If you're just tuning in now, that means you didn't see it at the very beginning of the show. But I will give you an insight. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a show.
2 weeks ago.
Was it
3
2
weeks
weeks?
Yes, yeah, a
3
couple of
weeks.
weeks.
3 weeks.
Couple of weeks.
It's
It's
been
2
that-
weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
It's
No,
two
it's
weeks.
3 weeks ago.
Okay.
It's actually-
Couple
It's 3.
It's 2.
No,
It's 3
couple.
weeks
my
ago.
God.
So last week we didn't
Couple
have the
is
show.
2.
It's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay, all right. It was 3 weeks ago.
it was
5th
three-
of March. It's twice.
This is not the topic of the show.
Last
wow.
week we did not have a show.
Yes.
2
And the
weeks
week
ago
before
we
was
had something
family.
about family issues.
Yeah.
So it was the
3
week
weeks. But
before.
couple is 2
Fifth of
weeks.
March.
Don't worry, we get it.
That would have just gone under
Yes,
the
5th
bus.
of March. So 3 weeks ago, 21 days ago, that is 3 weeks ago, we discussed breaking the bank for the big day. Should you spend all you have on your wedding, honeymoon, or the life after? Now,
Was that a topic? Should you spend all you have?
yes.
That's a
should
no
you-
now.
No, not all.
Let's start the show. Let's start the
Can we
show.
start?
See, this is the reason why they asked for Clinton to come back.
Let's start the show.
You're picking on the nitty gritty.
I didn't say topic. Should
Let
you spend
the host
all you have?
host.
I will
No,
spend
no,
all
no.
you have. There's no point of coming to this show in the first place.
Oh,
It's all you have.
Lord.
Okay, should you
That's your-
spend
I
so
can't
much?
deal.
Hey, you're talking.
Yes.
All you have.
on
You spend all you have.
But then when you break the bank, that's what it
When
means.
you
That's
Break
me.
the bank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the bank is spending.
So
a
that-
lot.
Spending everything in the
Beyond
bank.
what you actually
And
have.
actually,
break the
That
bank.
means you sell your clothes, you sell your
Jesus
shoes.
is
No.
Lord.
Your
That's
clothes,
everything
your
you
clothes
have.
and
No,
your
no,
shoes.
no, no,
Your clothes and your shoes are
they're
in
not in the
bank.
bank. They're not in the bank.
But you can exchange them for money.
Oh,
All right, so
please.
breaking the bank.
Yes.
Should you spend, in Clinton's words, most of what you have on the wedding, honeymoon, or the life after? Now it was kind of like heated because we had different opinions here and there from, Busola, Clinton, Prince, Sharon, and her friend. We did have those comments coming in. So you can send in your comments, your opinions, everything that you have for us. That is to facebook.com/RCCGJCC. That's facebook.com/RCCGJCC. Let us know what you think about that. And give us your comments. If you're married, let us know what your wedding day was like and how much you spent if you want to disclose. And if you want to tell us if life has been better after that, that would be much appreciated. So, I was going to start with this because obviously watching the show again, everyone had one thing or the other to say. And there was a particular statement that struck me. Clinton said something about, priorities being your outfit and all that. So because obviously the outfit is the wedding day. So should we spend, when I mean we, I mean the guys and the girls, should we spend a lot? Should we invest a lot on the outfits?
Let me say something.
Yeah.
I want to say something too.
One of my wife's outfits was all my outfits.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say you can't compare females' outfits to males' outfits.
What my suit,
You
my
cannot.
two suits, my
Wow.
traditional
You
outfits.
cannot.
It's all
Everything
coming
combined.
out, guys.
It's not up to
It's
one.
all coming out.
But you cannot compare. That's what I was going to. You can't compare
To be
because
fair,
guys,
that's true because
Yeah.
comparing women's
suits
outfits,
and
clothes,
like it's impossible.
It's
Do we
harder
not,
to
do we
compare.
not think that vendors actually prey on the fact that women are more attached to their wedding things and actually extort
They
women?
do.
of
That's
more
Yeah,
money?
Make
that's
their
that's
money.
fine. That's
So
okay.
is there a way we can address this
it's
issue
not to the women, to
so
be
that
honest.
men are not victimized, by association?
I like this. So what would you say to that?
As a compensation, take two
Should you
suits.
take
Take two suits. It's fine. Get two suits for yourself.
This is what
I
I would
have
say.
two suits, but
I know
still
it's still not
one.
enough.
But still
It's okay.
One. Put
It's
them all to one
okay.
of our
Prince
gowns,
is
so it makes
talking.
no
The
difference.
Prince is talking. Please, Prince is talking.
Okay. Question is, should we spend so much
on the
On the
outfit?
on the outfit? Now, my question is, why do you need to spend so much on the outfit?
Oh wow.
My answer is this. Even if you spend, if they don't spend so much on the outfit, the ladies' one will still be expensive than the guys' one.
It will be.
No, not always.
You know, I didn't
No,
compete a lot the
no,
last
no,
time, but this time
No,
I came
not
ready.
always.
Then again, it depends on where. If the lady
Yes.
got her dress from Primark and you went to Giorgio Armani to make your
God
suit,
bless
Yes,
you.
not
your
always.
suit will be more expensive.
Yeah.
Then we get address.
But
You know,
that's
you
a
don't know
topic for.
everyone.
No. You,
But regarding whether or
don't
not
want to
people should
open yash,
spend
but
so
yeah.
much on their outfit, if it's this is my personal opinion, especially for ladies' dresses. I'm sorry, but you're wearing it for 4 hours.
No, it's more than 4 hours.
Even if let us
You're
add
talking
plus
about
or
people that
minus.
change
Just church
Church.
till evening.
Church and
5,
evening.
6.
Let's say, let us say you're wearing it for one full day.
12
4
hours.
hours.
No, 12
What
hours.
happens
Can
to
I
the-
ask? Can I
Let-
ask
let
a
me
question?
finish now.
Okay.
Everyone is ready
Now,
tonight.
after that one day, what happens to the dress? Busola, have you worn your dress?
Don't bring it here.
Asake
Don't
shall even seen it after that day.
No,
Sin.
shade.
You know-
You're shaking a table you don't want
No,
to
no,
shake.
let's not shake the table too much. But I'm just asking
This-
a practical
yes,
question.
Yes,
I am.
Have you seen it?
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, but excuse
So
me.
it's one of those
Excuse
things
me.
where I think you need to
Oh wow.
see, if you're a billionaire, you're a billionaire. Yeah, if you're a billionaire, spending you will lose 1 million. You will not even know you've lost money. If you spend 1 million on a dress you wear for one day, it's nothing. Yeah, but if you're not a billionaire and you're spending roughly 100% of your monthly income on one dress that you will wear for 6 hours, and after which the dress is null and void, right? You have to put things in. I do respect the fact that certain groups of people and certain sexes have more attachment
Yeah.
to weddings more than others, and once they're in that situation, the only thing that makes sense is that outfit must be gotten. That is, if you don't get that outfit, it's as if the day is not complete.
You've offended their feelings.
Yeah. So I don't think
I think.
people should. This is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
For something you wear for 4 hours, 6 hours.
Sharon wants to say something.
Yeah, let's listen to
She
Sharon.
said,
No, I totally agree with what Prince is saying, but I also believe that everyone has an attachment to one thing or the
Okay,
other.
excuse me,
On the
No,
wedding
no.
day.
She's
You
no.
can interrupt me
Sharon
all the
is
time.
talking.
No, you said-
Sharon
you said
is
everyone
talking.
has.
agree with
Sharon
Prince,
is
but-
talking.
Done.
That means
That's not totally.
Wait.
She's slightly.
Let me. I partially
Wait
agree
now.
with Mr. Prince over there.
Okay.
You happy now, Mr. Politician?
I'm happy.
So yes, I agree that women tend to have more of an attachment to these things in general. But I've also known a couple where it's the guy that's more attached than the lady.
Yeah.
But let's take that as
10,000.
yeah, that's still a possibility. That's still a chance. That means it's not 100%, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's true. So, but then I believe that everyone during a wedding they have an attachment to one thing or the other. Now, everyone likes to focus on women and their clothing. Fair enough, as long as she is wise enough and considerate enough to not have that same attachment or not put that much that she doesn't have on everything. Let's say she has an attachment. Oh, the food. Oh, the decorations. Oh, the MC. Oh, so my makeup. Oh, the hair. And then she's now expending and going far, far beyond, which means breaking the bank in the end. But if she has that attachment to the dress and is within consideration, obviously, let's say the guy has this, guys like to have budgets and set things out. If it goes above it, but only by a certain percentage, if it's only that she's very attached to, what is the harm? And especially if she's able to.
There's something Tesco says.
Every little helps.
Every little helps. You can't ignore that one thing, because sometimes it's quite considerable.
But that's the whole point of sitting down, having a conversation, and meeting in the middle.
I understand what you're saying by having that conversation and meeting in the middle, but I feel like as females, no matter what you say, you want that dress.
Yeah.
There's a thing. Even though you grow attachment to every other, you would say you won't grow attachment to anything. Don't worry, babe, decoration I'll compromise, cake I'll compromise. But after you get that dress, best believe, I was crunching calculator. Like, see, the money will come out from somewhere. It will come out. I said I'll compromise on this, but come on now, I can't compromise again. Like, I feel like we still grow attachment to our dresses more than anything.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's out of, I want to walk down there and I want you to be happy. I want you to smile. I want you to feel like I look absolutely beautiful and stunning.
Yeah.
So
And I only have one.
it's for the man.
But it's
Everything. Even the 1 million naira is for the man.
it's all a package for, I want you to see me and go, oh my God, baby. And actually, that
like
one,
tear
that's one. Like,
Did I see
She said no.
Okay, how did I feel? Okay, so when they were playing the song, she actually
I
went
wanted
into,
to, yeah.
I was actually
Tearing up.
But she was not there. She came late.
I did come here.
So it was a song that was making you feel.
I thought she was even coming already.
The song I did.
No, because for months I've been
playing
playing the
second
song.
time. They were not
I've
there.
been
They
playing
were
the
singing
song
him.
and
They were singing him when she was coming in. So that way I should be crying. So I was angry. She's not there.
It's okay.
But I wasn't late though. My bridesmaids were late, so I was sending them a voice note.
Yeah.
I was sending a voice note that they must walk down before I do. So I was
Yeah.
standing there, wait for them to park their cars and walk down.
It's okay.
So
At least he
that-
teared up at the idea of you being.
But it wasn't when I was coming
Yeah,
out.
no,
But he thought of
I was
you.
only even pissed that you were late by that time. And they were not playing in. That's when you're not walking down. I don't understand.
All right. So I did really contribute a lot last week.
So
But this question,
Busala has not answered the question.
What
She
question?
did.
Of should women spend so much
On the
on the
dresses.
dress?
I think so because I feel like there's a lot more than it's just the physical dress. Even though you don't see the dress after, like my sister got married 3 months before I did, and after my wedding, she was like, "Can you see what happened to the dress after?" She I was telling you, and I was like, "Yeah, I get it. Now I see the feeling." But I feel at that point, it's more of, I want it. It's more this. I can't picture myself in anything like what Clinton said the other time. Where I wouldn't say right from a childhood you've been thinking. No. I feel like people at different times when they think. But when you start imagining the day, like you can see that picture and you want that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the bank will tell you can't have the picture.
the bank would tell-
And then you can compromise on some things. But I just feel like with a dress, the women are like, nah, mate, I want this. There's something.
I have a very interesting question, and this is so now you've got the experience of
that's
having this 4-hour dress that you spent a lot of money on.
Hey,
Yes,
12
yes.
hours.
Okay, let's imagine it's 12
Let's
hours.
imagine
Yes.
it's 12 hours.
Not the 12 because
But
she
now
had a
the-
second outfit. so
The
it's not
dress,
12.
this particular dress now that was probably the most expensive of them all, is in a different continent
Wow.
Clearly.
They've
as we
opened
speak.
it.
Boxed.
I forgot to tell British Airways that I had my wedding.
Yeah,
So
you should have. Yeah.
yeah,
they've
if not,
always
they would
give
have
you-
allowed me
Yeah,
to bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But let's assume you brought it back.
What did we do?
Will it be fulfilling purpose?
But anyway, to be sincere, for her, a lot of people are already asking for the dress.
yeah, like a few of my friends want
Want
to
you to buy
take
it
the
and
dress
buy
and
whatever.
remodel
Okay.
it for
Fair,
themselves.
that-
fair enough.
works.
But my
Yeah,
question
that
is
was,
this:
I think someone said that though.
my question is, having gone through that stage where you've spent a lot of money, let's not expose ourselves. Let's
Yeah,
not talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
how much
yeah.
the dress cost. But let us say you spent a lot of money on this dress, right? Now the day has come and it's gone. and you know you're not gonna wear that dress again if Clinton wants to take you out for dinner. That's not the dress you're going to wear. How do you feel now? Do you feel given another chance?
Oh, wow.
You will spend
Would you do that?
that kind
Yeah,
of money
it's
on
true.
a dress that you wear
Again.
that long?
Would you?
I know prior to the wedding, you had
Prior
this
to
feeling.
the wedding, yeah.
You had this feeling that you were making the right decision
Yeah.
and that was what you wanted. But having been through it, do you still feel that way now?
Do you know what? I don't regret
So
the
you
amount
would-
I spent on
So
that
you would
dress.
still do it again?
Would you do it again?
You
I
ask
would
the
do
wrong
it
person,
again.
she would. I
Knowing
know,
that
I know,
you're-
I know, trust me.
See,
I asked the
I
wrong
would-
person.
I would
She's
do it
answered the
again.
question. Let's go on to another.
Fair
I
enough. Fair
would.
enough.
again.
He knows I'll do it. I'll do it
The wrong
again.
person they asked.
I'll do it again.
Ask
I
someone
would,
else.
I would answer the question in different ways. You know, in my head, right? I have so many people, like my mom, my sister. My sister said, "Look, what you have in mind to wear, the pastor will most likely not allow you wear anything." And I was like, "Why?" I said, "Because they don't allow people wear trousers." And I said, "Because I want to wear trousers that tomorrow I can wear it to church or I
You
can
want to
wear
wear
it."
trouser.
Yes. I was good. Honestly, that was what was in my head. To put on a trouser suit that's got no.
Is this still in your head?
Yes, it is still in my head because it is a trouser suit that's got, you know how my outfit was.
The cape.
But it's
Yeah.
not the cape. It's gonna have the ball. So that other one you can take it off and dispose of it.
You're a
Your
designer
reception,
girl.
change dress. The trouser is already on that.
But you know people do
But-
that now. They wear like the
Yeah.
ball dresses, and then but the
Underneath.
top half is like with like
Connected to something
like
under.
a trousers under. So then
So
they remove the
that's-
ball dress
that's
skirt,
you saving.
and then the jumpsuit is underneath.
That's you saving. That's you saving some
So it's a
money.
2-in-1
Yeah,
dress.
what would happen to the cape?
You throw it away.
It's a skirt now,
Honestly,
so you can use it
that
for
one-
anything. It's a fabric.
It all depends on you. Do you understand? So, but one thing I remember when we went to have a look at wedding gowns with my sister-in-law, and she said, "Mommy, for one day, £700. That's a lot of money for a dress." And I was like, "So how much do you want to spend?" Now, because I didn't have an idea of how much wedding gowns cost, she was like, "It's just for one day. Why should I do that?" And really and truly, I didn't even know when my brother and his wife left the hall to start embark on their honeymoon journey.
They went for
So
prayers.
they went to pray
Yeah.
somewhere to thank God for the day. So but for me, I don't feel it's a one day thing. Yes, we'll see pictures, but there are outfits that you can actually put on that you know that tomorrow I can put this outfit on again and not break the bank. So if I spend this amount of money on this outfit, I know that tomorrow if I decide that I'm going for an event, somebody else's event, I can put it on again. Is some overzealous people that would recognize that it is my wedding dress. It's my wedding dress, but at least I can wear it
But
again.
I just want to say something. But anyway, I like the idea that you can still resell it or remodel it to someone else or
Yeah.
whatever. So a lot of people are doing that now,
Yeah.
and it's making a lot of sense. And they're making some of them even make their money back or half of it,
yeah.
or half of it, which makes more sense. A lot of people are doing that.
It makes sense, but the truth is, let's be real. I don't know if I would want to see my wedding dress
On someone
on
else.
somebody else.
Girl, I don't mind. I've been there, done that. I've taken the
It's
cash.
got the
for it.
pictures.
It's not the
Yeah.
person
Like
who
the
wear
person
it,
that should feel that
should
way.
feel someone, not you.
The
Yeah,
girl,
it's best that
take
it's really-
it. I'll dry clean it for you, baby girl. You look stunning.
But then where is
Where's
all
my
the
money?
attachment to the dress?
Yeah,
gone?
exactly.
They-
Where's
they
the
bought it
attachment
that
gone?
day.
like they
So
are shocking
it's
now.
more an attachment to the look, not necessarily the
Not
dress.
necessarily the dress, because that means that was just
I think
A
it's
spur
not
of the-
something we can actually, to be very honest, it's not something we can actually explain.
But okay,
To be very honest, it's not something that we can explain. We can spend another half an hour talking on
Talking about this dress.
but it's really nothing you can explain. This is me. I haven't been through it yet. I'm going through the phases probably Bisola went through, where I have to look this way, and I don't really want to compromise on it.
Especially when you tried it on once and you're like,
you love the idea, but then
This is it.
at the same time, she's gone through it. She's saying she would do it again, but then she can't fully explain
why?
So there's no point of going back and forth. Everyone will have a different opinion.
Yeah.
Each one of us has different opinions. But let's just understand that women are different, and there's certain attachments, and it tends to go towards the dress.
Yeah.
But it's
But
not
the,
something
but the
we can
truth
explain.
is, there's something that Busola said at the very beginning that I would say it's not all ladies.
Not all ladies.
Most of the ladies that I don't know whether it is the kind of ladies that I know, but most of them were like, "Man, dude, your dress." I know someone that her outfit was 80,000.
I know
And
someone
that
that outfit was
80,000
50,000.
Yeah, 80,000 was
This was
because
last
she
what?
rented.
50,000 naira
Naira.
last year,
Yeah.
September last year, 50,000 naira.
Her husband's, my friend, her husband's
I wouldn't even
outfit
disclose.
was-
Yeah, and the
was
dress, when you
more
see the
expensive.
dress, our pictures on Instagram, you wouldn't know the dress is 50,000. When she told me it was
So-
50,000, I was just like,
That's the thing.
Girl.
No, when you wear a dress, right? If, for example, if I saw your dress, I don't know where you made it. I would
Yeah.
never be able to guess how much you made it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't know,
It's true.
right?
Remember your suit.
if
that
I-
blue suit.
You know, some of these things, the secret things are of the Lord. So until it has been disclosed, nobody will know.
yeah.
Right? So I think, I mean, I'm one person who believes something like a wedding, people need to calm down and sit down and actually use their brains, God-given intellect, and figure things out. And I find it difficult when you get to a stage in planning and decisions are made for no reason. I personally find it difficult because I've all my years of training, you know, even in my profession as a doctor, you don't do things without reason. You don't do things without
There's
cause.
always a reason.
There's always a reason, but
Yeah.
you've said that with the dress is something you cannot explain. So there's-
Looking back afterwards, yeah, I could not explain, but at that point I could explain.
But at that
But-
point,
I could
yeah.
tell
but
you
now you
100
said
reasons.
now you're saying looking back is something you could not explain,
No.
but you're still saying
I
you
would
will
do it
all
again.
over again.
Yes.
For this same thing that you can't really explain and find
Now
out
I can't
reason-
explain it now, but if I go
Why?
back to that
That's
position,
why I
And
said
when
we
it
can-
comes again, you will
I
now
will,
be
I
able
will,
to
I'll be able to
explain.
explain it at
That's
that
what I'm
point.
saying. I think, you know, there might be a lot of couples out there which we need to give some insight to. Are we saying it is okay?
It
You
is
know,
not
because-
okay if you don't have it. If you have to still beg,
What if
borrow,
you
it
have
is
to break
not
the
okay.
bank?
If you have to break the bank, it is not okay.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
point blank, it is not
So
okay.
that means-
there are other ways you can do it and achieve what.
50,000 naira.
Like
So we are answering the question because the
you
question
can wear the
was,
dress for your
should
10th
we break
anniversary.
the bank
For the wedding.
for this dress?
this outfit.
Based on what you've said now,
Now she's gone.
if you know it will break the bank, don't do it.
If you
So
know
it
to
didn't break your bank,
no,
basically.
No, if it will break your bank, don't do it.
But if you
If
got
you-
to a point where you're punching calculators and saying the money must come out from
No,
somewhere,
not for the dress. I mean, I compromised on something else after.
Okay.
So it was
After
more
the
like
And then
she
I
had
said,
to forfeit one
yeah,
thing,
so it was,
opportunity
I was
for
like,
one.
don't worry, I'll get my dress.
Just like what
and
I
then
said.
I compromised
you get
on
attached to
something.
something and then you compromise on others.
Yeah, but after I got my dress, I was like, I still want that thing.
The reason is because
How did you
me,
feel with that?
I know that if say we got married, we're married. Now I have an attachment to Range Rover, right?
Yeah, I do.
I have an attachment to Range Rover. Next week now, I want to get the Range Rover, and I know if I get that Range Rover, monthly savings will go from
Go
maybe
down.
£1,000 to like £50. But I have this attachment to Range Rover I cannot explain.
But that's not logical.
Would you be
That's
able?
why.
That's every
Would you be
month.
able
every
to-
month.
Men are
every
wired like
month.
this.
Would you
every
be able
month.
to
Women are wired
understand?
like this. So
Would
there
you
are
be
two-
able to understand
No, but
that,
that-
this is an
No,
attachment I
that's a
cannot
that's a
explain?
long-term course. That is every month. This was just a one-time thing. You have to let it go.
And to be very, very
Come
honest
on
and
now.
very, very blunt, if you literally do not have the money, you
Don't
can't get
do
it.
it.
You
Yeah.
can't get it.
Not that you can't.
No,
Some
no,
people
you
would.
no. Let's
So
be
how
let's
would
be
you-
very, very real.
How
You
would you get
cannot get it.
You go and sell.
Some
Or
people go.
still.
Some people go.
Don't.
borrow
No,
it.
no, no. Let's be very logical
borrow
here.
it,
doesn't-
get it.
You can't get it.
You shouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Remove your attachment from
So
it.
with all the
Disconnect.
things that we're talking about, at the end of the day, you would have to save up, have the money, or be able to get it from somewhere. And if you physically cannot do that, you can't and you should not get the dress.
Yeah.
So
I'm speaking on behalf
Of
of
the women.
average people like me. Right now, I'm not speaking for billionaires who can afford
No
to
one
get
is
anything they
speaking
want.
for-
Now, the fact that you have the money sat in your account, does it mean you should spend that amount on a dress? I think that's the question. It's
But
not about
which
you-
amount are we saying? Because what
Yes,
what
yes.
you
An
break your
amount-
bank-
What
an amount-
what you
exactly?
break your bank.
an
Yeah.
amount that will be painful.
I think I
What is
understand-
painful to
No,
you?
No, I think I understand what he's saying. Yes,
Yeah.
you may have £50,000 in your account, but does
Doesn't
it
mean you should
mean
spend
that
the
you should
whole
actually
50,000
not even 50,000?
on-
Does it mean you should just say, okay, let me take 10,000 of this dress, of this money to buy a dress, when you know that you can take 2,000 of that money to buy a dress and still have 8,000 to do something.
And plan for the life, the wedding, the marriage
No, like
after.
I feel like once you start saving for your wedding, firstly, yeah, like what Clinton said when we said like, let's remove the honeymoon first. Remove what is priority to you. Then the rest, whatever, how you can adapt it and make do. Don't just say, oh, because I want this outfit, I want this thing, I'll spend it all and suffer after. There's no suffering after, because it's you, yourself, and you.
There were a lot of things I compromised that I was not quite bothered about. Like drinks, like food, like some extra foods, all these small chops, all this yam, all this. I was not bothered about it. But I saw it on that day.
You got the family.
I clapped for them. That's a problem. I'm talking about all these souvenirs. People was on my neck. He was souvenirs. And that day I saw it. I clapped for them. There are things that I was not willing to compromise because I didn't physically have the money to do it. So that's people's problem. But yeah, this thing I was saying about fantasy, I was speaking to a young lady. I think yesterday or today we had a conversation in an open space, and she was like, "Oh, flavor must be in our wedding. If flavor is not in our wedding, she's not doing. Flavor must be in our wedding." And I was like, she's 21 or 22.
Flavor is
in African musician.
flavor is about £10,000.
I said she's 21. Yeah, you don't even have a boyfriend. You're listening.
Flavor is already.
Yeah, saying that flavor must be in your wedding. You don't know who you're getting married to. You don't know where you're getting married. You don't know how you will feel about flavor. Flavor was taking his girlfriend before or whatever. And you want to, and this but this is how people, get attachment to. So she's 21. Flavor must be in her wedding, and she must be in her wedding in 3 places. Germany, because of that where she's from, and then Brazil, I caught there. Nigeria, because she's Igbo, and UK, because she's unfortunately living in UK. I was like, you don't know where this man is from. You don't know who the man is, but
that's the attachment.
Flavor must be there. I must have it in these 3
No, but
countries.
she as he said.
And that's what I'm saying about some certain unnecessary attachment that ladies have. And I was like, you've never met this man. You don't know what is the way he thinks or how he wants to do this, but you're already telling yourself how you want to get your wedding, as if you're getting married to yourself. And that's how people get to know love this attachment. Flavor would collect nothing less than 5K at least if you want to just do it for.
Yeah, that 5K is like
just
somebody.
And you're already planning for him to be your wedding. So are you? As he sure is his music you have to play for himself? But yes, that's how people get attached.
Yeah.
But regarding this dress issue, it's just cut according to your size. No, according to your material, literally, not according to your size. According to your material you have, cut your code according to your material you have, and make sure there's a mutual understanding between yourself and your hobby before you go ahead. Don't just go to his back and do it. Because at the end of the day, I've seen a case whereby people broke up because of their planning a wedding.
So
they broke up while they're planning a wedding, so we need to be careful.
So would you say that people breaking the bank or going the extra mile, to break the bank for these days or for the wedding or for the honeymoon could be due to peer pressure or social media pressure? Would you say that?
A lot of things influences, social media influences, peer pressure influences. I want to surpass the other person with the influences, especially if you have friends that are all getting married.
Around the same time.
A lot of people, a lot of things, influence it. But at the end of the day, I've seen people also trying to, even life after the marriage itself, people also go ahead to break the bank, even life after.
For the life after, just to show cars.
That's the first
houses,
thing I noticed.
cars, mortgage, by
New cars.
force. I want to get it. A lot of people just I live this family, so they driving this one. Let me say, go and drive. A lot of people.
Family mood.
So peer pressure will always come before the wedding, honeymoon, you just depend on how composed you are to be able to handle these things. It will always come up. You can break the bank for life after.
Yep.
Trust me.
Yeah.
You can be sensible to do your small
Court
wedding and stupidly break the bank.
Yes.
Life after.
Just to show that we're married.
We are doing great.
A lot of people
because there's that stigma that comes with it, with
a lot of
being
people
married.
do that.
Once you're married, you're meant to be on a
certain level. Exactly. We are
If you're
married.
driving hatchback,
You are not a married man. You need to.
You need to
show that
upgrade.
You are not married.
upgrade to a saloon or SUV.
Step off.
So a lot of people, actually, peer pressure will always come at any point.
So don't fall for peer pressure.
No.
I would honestly, we would love to keep talking, but we have to acknowledge the people who are watching. We've got Tola, thank you. Victoria, Brandon, Queen B, Cam. So many. Fumilola, Onobanjo. We've got you as well.
That's my mom.
Easy. Yeah. Hi, mommy.
Hello.
And we've got Josiah. Hello, Josiah.
Joseph is his name. If his
Joe.
name is Josiah.
Okay, his name is
Josiah.
Jotayo.
Jotayo.
Jotayo. Okay, so I will try to be as quick as possible with the comments. Hello, everyone. Brandon is letting us know what his day was like. He says, my day was cabodios. Wow, new words for the dictionary.
Joe's comment.
So, Vicky, really sorry for the flu. Hope you get better soon. Do get better. You know what next week is like. So do get better. And she's responding to the outfit. You can rent a dress, which I think Clinton had mentioned that. Someone said it. But Joe, don't worry. We will pass it on. For those of you that want finance, on your
Please
outfit, you can
call Joe.
I'm sure they probably do that now. Buy now,
Yeah, no.
pay later.
What they do is a few months to your wedding, so you must pay the last payment before
your
you pick
wedding.
up the dress. So before your wedding.
So do you still
Okay.
return the outfit?
No, it's yours
It's
now, but
yours.
you pay
Finance.
small.
But you know some finance, you can return the vehicle.
Oh no,
It's not
you that we
PCP.
sell.
You have to sell
It's
it.
either we have to go and sell it privately, or
Oh, okay.
there's some
All
websites
right.
where you hand in your
So
dresses.
you trade it in?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right, so Tola said, I think it gets to a threshold where the price of any material object, be it wedding dress, shoes, cards, etc., gets a bit ridiculous, and unless you tell people or they somehow already know, no one will know the difference between a 1 million dress and a 10,000 dress, unless the dress will teleport you from one place to another. Okay? Both dress prices will probably perform the same function or have
Yeah.
very minor differences. By the way, are there certain dresses that you are not allowed to wear if you wish to get married in a church? Yes, there are certain things you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Yeah, because some churches would scrutinize.
Redeem has like a
You've
strict
got to bring
list.
your
You have to bring your dress like
dress
a
for
week
them to
before
have
for
a
the
look
pastor
at.
to have a look at your
Yeah.
dress and redeem.
So I asked because I know a woman who got told the dress she had to wear if she was to get married in that church.
Yeah,
Yes,
there are
some
some
Yeah.
churches do.
churches have their principles,
Yeah.
Yeah.
doctrines.
So, Fumi Lola Onobanjo, that's your mom. She supports the motion. I'm not sure whose comment it was. And Cam, you will sort that one out with Joseph. I'm sure he will respond. Cam says, well done, guys. I honestly think this day is personal as everyone has a different opinion for this special day. For me, the most important thing is that as long as breaking the bank doesn't break the marriage, because the wedding is for a day and marriage is for the rest of your lives, wisdom is profitable to direct. I like that because I was going to say something about that.
Vicky said something. She said, can we also talk about the attachments men have?
Yes.
Do people have attachments for the day?
We can, after the last comment.
Yes.
Okay, let's read Somi's comment, then we'll come back to that. Imer, we see you as well, Somi. Thank you as always, and it was nice seeing you again.
Yay, come back
thank
to
you.
commentary.
So Somi says, hello all, trust you're all doing great, and thanks for the hospitality last week. We are waiting for you again. Like Brexit, this is a topic that is an ongoing debate. If you can afford it, enjoy it. Sometimes in life, you treat yourself, sometimes you don't. What has value to one person may have no value to another. One person's expensive dress might be another's low budget.
Let everyone do what is best for them.
Let everyone do what's best for them, and remember that all choices have consequences. Thank you so very much. And let's go to Vicky's comment first before I ask the question. Do men have attachments when it comes to this big day or the honeymoon? I know you said something about you being, looking forward to the honeymoon last week, the last show. You said, that you're.
That was his
Yeah,
attachment.
I asked what because I know I needed that to be seen again. To be seen. No.
Okay.
To be seen.
I needed that to be
So he was insane during the
Like,
week.
It's a process.
it's a process.
It's a process that you lose.
There's
The
some-
possibility of
it-
losing your sanity.
It happens that you just got married. Like, have I really, done all this? It was a very fast. The process is long, but the day itself is so bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
So I needed that,
Sanity.
to catch my breath.
Did you?
Did you catch your breath?
It was lovely.
Okay.
Don't worry.
But the things that I was not necessarily attached, but things I was particularly about was
But that's an attachment, though.
there's no attachment. No, it's not that.
He
Let him
could
say the things
let
first.
go.
Yeah, I could let go of it.
Say the things. Let me hear.
I wanted to do my suit with a particular person, which I did. So if I didn't get the best, I can actually I can do my to someone else. If I could not afford it, but I could easily afford it. It wasn't easily. It was I can close my eyes and afford it because he's one of the best filmmakers in Lagos. But he could easily afford it because men's suit and
we get the point.
Not actually that expensive because that's kind of stuff that I can wear.
It depends on where you get the men's suit from, Shao.
No, that I'm saying.
But at least you didn't go to a place
to
that will break
break
your back.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, shade.
That's true. I actually wanted to get a loose before then, but I was like, you know what? There's no. It's not a. That was literally my attachment. I was like, okay, let it go. If let them have all their attachment. I said, let it go. So it's not really. It was not really an attachment per se. She was I was like, okay, let it go. I actually know because I know if I could get it was a lot of money to like 800 pounds, and you can use that for something else. So why would I just spend that on a shoe for my wedding, which I can also afford get even after the wedding? But I let that go. But they won't let it. They will not let their own go. It's not attached. It's not their attachment.
I think.
So it's not attached.
I think we need to define what an attachment
is.
There are things that I like that I'm not attached to. I think for something to become an attachment, it means even when there's valid reason for you to separate yourself with that thing,
you still want to get it.
You still want to get it. Like you said, you can't explain.
Oh my God!
They really hold you.
You just can't explain. It doesn't make sense, but you have to get it.
Yeah.
You know it's expensive, but you have to get it.
It's like an addiction.
You know you only need it for 4 hours, but you have to get it.
Yeah. But even if I could wear the loose for 4 or 5 years, but it's still that's like.
I mean, it would have made sense. It would have made sense if you got it because at least you wear
Please,
it
I feel like they have
for, you wear it for five years.
Leave them to it.
I personally don't think. Well, I've not seen. Let me say it doesn't exist, but I've not really seen anything pertaining to wedding that men are so attached to a point where it goes beyond the power of reason.
Yeah.
They can always reason things out, and
Compromise.
I can't
I
get
feel like
LV. I'll go for John White.
I was particular about my shoes, my belt, but what I wanted to get, I ended up not
So
getting
it was
it.
more like you could get it later.
Later,
Doesn't
yeah,
have to be
yeah.
at that point.
exactly
Yeah.
like you can get
So-
those shoes and belts later.
So you cannot get the wedding gown.
But I feel like this wedding stuff,
for the day.
it can never match.
I like that question. Now let's go to the ladies.
What happened?
Is there anything that you would say I am not attached to?
Oh,
What, towards the wedding?
Yes. Like what is the least thing that you would say?
I'm
you're
trying to think in
attached
my head and I'm going, no, I'm attached. No, I'm attached.
I can start
Wait.
this one.
You're attached to the whole wedding.
No,
It has to be like
the
they saw in
day.
their dream when they were
I
11.
think, I think obviously you have an image.
Yeah.
I think for me,
the guy
dress.
suits. You're not attached to the guy
You're
suits.
not.
You're
no,
not
the-
attached,
I'm-
you're not addressed,
no,
you're
no,
not-
the things I am attached
You're
to, everything
not.
else I can let go. My dress
Yeah.
and the decorations.
That's it.
Everything else, it doesn't
I let
really.
go.
The way the guy suits, you're not bothered about it.
Yeah, as long as he looks great.
He will look great.
And I trust he will look great.
Clearly.
Yeah.
What do I have? I trust his judgment with that.
He can do
But everything
Looking
else, I'm
great.
not.
If looking great is what is important here,
Then why
Prince is very-
do
why
we
you
have
attached
to
a particular
spend
dress?
so much money?
I just no.
Is looking great dependent on how much we spend? Because I think sometimes people are just saying, I don't want a cheap dress. I want an
Yeah,
expensive
that's the
dress.
difference.
Now, it's price. They've never seen the dress. They've already ruled out a cheap dress. So a dress that is beautiful, just because it's £500 or the find that it's £500,
not good enough.
all of a sudden loses
£500
flavor.
is plenty.
If that same dress, I'm just example. If that same dress was in a different shop and a tag of £3,000
They'll
was on
run
it,
to it.
people will
That's
place
what
value
that's what the
and
shops
they will
do
go
now.
for these
That's
things.
some women. I would
That's
yeah,
what
put my
I'm
hands
saying.
up and
I'm
say,
I feel like some
that
women
is
are
not
like
It
that.
was 1,000, but
That
the slash
is
is to
not me.
500.
If-
They'll go down, they'll pick that 500 down and leave
no,
the 250
I'm sorry.
one.
I'm
Because
not
of
someone
the
that
slash.
follows. This guy has his own.
You're shaking.
He has his own
I know what he's saying.
I would
There's a lot of
say,
people do that
because I know
stuff.
not every woman out there
Yeah.
is like that. I would definitely say I'm not someone that follows labels. I'm not. I'm someone that follows quality.
What of promo?
But sometimes
And that's
seriously, we hear it
Let
things,
us answer the question.
and then when they make call, to somebody to do the
Chidinma,
contact.
you are not doing justice.
They will go to those
They are not
people
letting
who
us
are-
talk.
are
No,
the
they are not
people
letting
who
guys
get
want to
to
know
get
what?
quotes. They will not go to the cheap ones.
No, the reason why I would be very open about this. My cousins are in the fashion industry in Nigeria,
Yeah.
and there's
I
certain
love the way
people.
you pronounce the fashion.
No, they are. Oh, thanks. They are.
Yeah,
And
but the best
I'll be
places.
very honest, because I've heard a lot of stories. Even I spoke to Bisola while I was planning her wedding. There's certain tailors out there that have great big names. They charge so much. But what they bring to you is not great. Or there are people that will fail you, that you cannot depend on. So I do not follow that. I follow the opinions of my cousins. And at the same time, I debate them. Because sometimes they bring people that are very pricey. And I always question them on quality, time, and is there not anyone else that can do
That can
better
do the same
or do
thing.
the same thing? So even though I follow their advice, because my wedding is not in this country. So I need to,
Oh, you are getting married soon.
I need to, you have to also put that into consideration. And at the same time, I've tried on some dresses here that I'm thinking they do not completely, obviously you can't go to every single wedding
You're
shop.
not going to pronounce
And-
what you want.
Just go keep
But all I'm trying to say is I do not follow tags, and I'm sure I'm talking on behalf of a lot of women out there. They don't follow tags, they don't follow designers, they don't. It's what particularly that they want, or they believe those that they can trust. And if it means a little bit more money on it, then so be it. Just to have that peace, because like you said, you needed your honeymoon for what? Sanity.
Yeah, so you need the dress
Then
yourself.
it-
So no.
That's not what she's saying.
Exactly, not to twist it. I'm not saying the dress I need for sanity.
Oh, okay.
It's just those I know that I can trust. I want it tailor-made.
Okay.
So I know those that I can trust and that will
You
bring.
went to show all the
You know
details.
what? I'm sure you guys all
understand
understand
what
what
she's
I'm trying to say. The men clearly want to take over part 2. So let's just let them.
All right, so I remember I went in 2015. One of my friends was getting married, Lydia. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to. We all went. I was on the bridal train, so we went to have a look at dresses. My mom was there, and she picked up this dress. She was like, "Oh, I like it." My mom said, "How much is it?" She said, £3,000. My mom said, "I still have my dress, so come and buy my dress." £3,000. My mom doesn't like calculating, doing the whole conversion, but she was like, £3,000.
And they convert it to Naira.
She was like, do you know what that is? For one day, I still have my dress at home. I've never worn it. It's there. It's changed color from white to cream. But it's there. So why spend £3,000 on that one day?
No, our own was not changed color. We started that thing now. It's not me and them.
All right, we've got Cam's question here. So Cam made a statement. He said, for me, the most important thing is that as long as breaking the bank doesn't break the marriage, because wedding is a day,
I
for a
think
day,
you
and
read that already.
yeah, no, he made a statement. Now, what would you do if this is for the life after, right? Now, let's imagine you're guys, and the person that decided to break the bank was the girl, and you guys are ladies. You decided either you broke the bank or the men decided to break the bank, which clearly
Someone broke the bank.
Someone
It's
broke the
impossible,
bank.
Sha.
What would you do if life after this person comes to you and says, "Oh, if we did not do this, we would not be in this situation right now." So life after, things are getting hard. You cannot control
Blame game.
circumstances. Some companies, you go in, it's last in, first out when they're laying people off. So God forbid that is the situation. Now this other party comes to you and says, "But if you had just talked to me and you had cautioned me, we would not have spent that much." In that case, what would you do?
To be sincere, I don't know. I've not expressed that, so I don't know how I would react. But if I've allowed it, I'll take the responsibility of it, whether she broke the bank or not, because I allowed it. Just what I'm saying, I'll take responsibility for it if that's what happened. But I've never experienced that. But if it's I'm just looking at that picture in that situation when it comes to decision making.
Okay.
There's certain things. If I've allowed it and the decision goes wrong, I'll take responsibility for it. Yeah. If I didn't allow it and you go to my pocket to take that decision, I will still help you too, but I will ring it.
Yeah.
I will always ring it in your ear. Trust me, I'm very good at that. I will always remind you. I will always remind you.
Reminding you.
I will always remind you. So as next time, before you take that decision, you will think. And 2 years after, trust me, I will still remind you. No, that's me. I'm not joking. I would, but I might not even say it in a nasty way.
No, it's
I'll
a
tell
joke.
you to
It's
joke,
a
but
joke.
I
Then
will
you're
always,
thinking
I will
joke,
always
yeah.
stick, you know, stick it with it.
You know, even the Bible says, "Can two walk together unless they agree?" I think one of the most important things is that people actually come to an agreement and have a common ground, right? Have a common ground. I mean, I have very limited experience, but one thing that I feel will benefit is, first of all, have an idea how much you want to plan with your wedding. Okay? Have a common wedding purse, the both of you, so that nobody, because one easy thing that can happen is the guy is working, he's earning money. The girl is working, she's earning money. You people don't agree, therefore she'll go and buy from her own pay and says, yeah, it's my money, I used to buy it.
Yeah.
Now, things like that can cause division, because if it's a guy like me, trust, I will shut down. I will shut down, and there's no amount of prayer
Good luck,
that will
girl.
unlock you.
He's like,
Yeah.
I don't do that anyways.
I
It's
believe,
fine.
come together, talk, have a plan. And when you start going according to that plan, don't deviate from it.
Yeah.
If you have to deviate, talk about it, make sure you come to an agreement. In talking as well, you need to not be stiff. So if one person holds on to what they want and they are not willing to
Let's go.
not necessarily let go, but
Compromise.
think about,
Yeah.
consider what the other person is saying, and make a decision based on the validity of their beliefs rather than on what you're stuck on that blinds you from being able to see reason. So I think to prevent things like, you know, in the future things happening and you know, accusations, because it can hurt some people. Some people can work really, really hard, spend everything they saved for years on a wedding, whereas in their mind, that's not where they saw themselves.
Yeah.
3 years, 4 years on, they have to start their whole life all over again.
See?
And if it happened because they were party to it, it's easier. But if it happened because they had tried to bring this thing up, but the other party would not listen, rather does things away, at the point you can't. At the point the wedding has to happen. So if you can't beat them,
Join
you
them.
will join them. And when you join them and your heart is not in it, something goes wrong tomorrow, or both of you end up in a debt, or you finish the wedding, zero savings, and something suddenly happens that you need cash for, and you now have to go to people to beg money
People
to
that
say,
pay for
can
the
you
wedding.
borrow me £2,000? Can you borrow me? I have this urgent thing to sort out, because you failed to save. Then all those things can come up. I did tell you we should not do this, but you were so stubborn. I think people should have a common purse.
Yeah.
Men should not say it's my money I'm spending. Women should not say it's my money I'm spending. Both of you plan to use 20,000 for your wedding. Have a purse. Let that 20,000 be there, so that when you spend, you keep track of what you're spending. You say this is what we're going to spend on. What we're spending. If you're running short, if God is blessing you, people are spending on your behalf. You know you're saving from that money
Yeah.
you've planned. So I think that's one
But
way
I
to.
know someone to be sincere. I don't really have any regrets about my wedding.
That's the
But to be sincere,
That's the
I don't really
That's
have
not a
regrets. I'm one of the lucky ones. I don't really regret.
No, because you see people that get married. Sorry to cut into it. You see
It's
people
fine.
that get married, and after getting married, this is a true real life story. Someone got married the day after. She was regretting it because the
how
thing
much
she
is-
wanted, no, not even how much, because she really wanted to do. The guy stopped her from doing a lot of things, and then she now turned around and said the day was pretty rubbish. Like it wasn't what she wanted, and she just feel like
She's
she
happy
was.
about the marriage, but
Yeah, she's
not
happy about the
wedding.
marriage, clearly. Yes, you know when they say the marriage will still happen, but the wedding was not what she wanted. It was just, everything was just
Yeah,
not
but
as
to
she
say,
wanted.
I think at the point I had in my wedding, I was at a place where everything I wanted to achieve at that time in my life, I've already achieved it. So I was not actually particular about
Perfect timing.
it was if I had that wedding probably this year, I'll
Pick
probably
your words, baby. Pick your
this
words.
year.
Pick,
No,
pick
that's
your,
fine. If I
pick,
had a wedding, if I had a
pick
wedding
your
this
words,
time
baby.
this year, probably I'll have caused down some expenses or whatever. Yeah,
Would you?
Because it's a barren time. But at that point, at that time, I didn't really.
It was
Whatever I wanted what came in.
Thank God.
And the wedding was.
Thank God we did it last year.
But then the funniest thing, my wedding was even amplified
Thank God.
than what I expected it, and what we eventually spent on it. There were a lot of things that actually amplified it. That people thought it was DSTV is showing your wedding. Some people thought I even paid DSTV. Some people thought I paid Bella Nigeria. Some people thought I paid it's like KG. Another people that carried it, but it was just amplified. But when you have a proper charisma, you give them a good dance.
So right.
Okay,
Please can we
stop. Next question.
I made our wedding trend. You know that.
Wow, let's leave that with you guys.
All right.
Shade.
That's going to the other
But
room.
that's the fact.
That's
See,
going to
I
the
feel
other
like you
room.
guys are not. That's why you people should not sit together. You people have been shaking this table. Don't make us shake it, though.
Don't worry.
We have things to shake this
Oh
table.
yeah, please shake the table. So, but what would the ladies?
We are
ladies, what would you say?
Who? Two of you.
We are submissive, so we don't shake.
Live TV, tag, both of you. So me, see.
Okay, let's not even go
Okay,
there.
we'll go there. That's discussion for another room. So, all right. So, ladies, if you find out that you've been very extravagant, let's just say Busola or Sharon, they've said you guys should not spend that much, blah 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 blah, and you go behind and you do it, right? God forbid something happens much later. Would you accept that blame? This is the life after. Because there are some women that will still be naughty. Because as she is now, she still can't explain the outfit. So there's still an attachment. Would you still, would you go and say, okay, look, Clinton, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. I'm going to be the submissive wife.
Using my words.
Submissive wife. Or would you say, oh, look, it's happened, let's look for a way forward. I can't dwell on, past glory.
Yeah.
So what would you do in that case?
I don't know. I feel like one of those moments where it's like, it's happened. Let's just move on. Let's move on. It has. We've done it. We've eaten the rice.
We've taken the pictures.
Exactly. We've got to the toilet. We've come out. Let's move on. Like, let's find a solution. And God has blessed us with great guys who are quick to find solutions. So I think.
But
You guys are the solution
They are taking advantage
of
of
who
the
you are.
grace
I
of
didn't
God
say that.
in our life.
But yeah, we have to be grateful for that at the same
Yeah.
time. But to be honest, I'm very much someone that once he lays something before me, evidence before me, and I can say that it traces back to me, I will put my hands up.
But if it
I
doesn't,
I would definitely put my hands up.
if he doesn't have that evidence, if all the receipts have been left in the former house, and
No, obviously it doesn't have to be physical evidence, but
Yeah.
evidence where
Yeah.
okay, it was you that made this decision. It was you that said that we should go on
Sharon,
this.
there's always a defense to everything.
you're a lawyer, she's not. She's the present manager, she's
can't-
not.
you
I'm telling
cannot always
don't
say,
bring your
yes,
job into
it
our
is
marriage.
needed.
I tell her every
No,
time, you're a
because
lawyer,
he
don't bring your job into our
he
marriage.
had a part to play
No, I
in
can
it as
put my
well.
hands up, but then I know that's not something that's going to happen at all because we've sat
But there's
down.
one thing
I'll
that we
compromise.
didn't agree on our wedding, and she went up to do. Which
Oh, baby,
still biting her
Baby,
on
baby.
was the choice of photographer.
baby, this time you are actually tipping the table. You are tipping the table.
I want to use my friend. He's my friend.
Kitty Wilson, you are
He's my
tipping.
friend. Let's use
Defend,
him.
defend.
No,
I was going after a particular person. She was like, no, it's her friend. No, the funniest thing.
Oh gosh.
Now, I'll just say,
Sorry.
the friend is a popular photographer. I won't say his name.
Don't say his name,
The
please.
person that
Protect his
Bella
identity.
Nigeria.
So he was disturbing. She was saying, how is my friend? I was like, I want to use this person. How is my friend? We ended up using
The person.
our friend, who is even almost as expensive as the person I wanted to use. But because of that friend, it led a little.
That's great.
discount.
No problem. Now tell me what happened. A week during our photo shoot,
Ooh.
after the photo shoot, he came to tell her that, oh, sorry, I cannot make it to your wedding.
The week before.
No, that's our photo shoot. This was in October.
Pre-wedding
Oh, okay,
shoot.
pre-wedding
So it
shoot.
was during the pre-wedding shoot that I was like, oh, you look great, guys. Keep going.
Then
Give
at
that
the,
shot.
At the end,
By the way, I can't
he was
make
like,
it to
I
your
can't make it
wedding.
to your wedding. Yeah.
Oh no.
Now, he said
And
it was-
this is 9 months after I collected his first deposit.
I different. That's why friend. Now,
Did he return the money?
no, you don't let me even tell you what happened. The guy is good. He's a good photographer.
He's
He
good.
said he's not- Now, guess who he sent to represent him.
Your
The
friend.
person
that I
he
wanted.
wanted from beginning. So that's the person that ended up taking the pictures
So
for the
it's
day.
fine then.
You didn't
No,
listen,
but-
then why don't you just listen to me? Now, unless it's the person in the first
It's
place.
fine. The
It's the
table
person
can be
that-
picked
And,
up
and
again.
that is one of the
Somebody
things that I
again.
still,
Is
that's
the
one of the
person-
things that I still hear in my ear every
And
day.
today.
Today.
So
That's
today,
your friend.
No album, no.
Baby, you're tipping the table.
It's fallen
whatever.
over.
I know
The-
he would
the legs
deliver
are
it at the end of the
broken.
day, but he would deliver it probably
When
she's even pregnant with her first child. Probably that's what he would deliver it.
All right.
Oh, wow.
The table cannot be reassembled.
Never.
Sorry.
It's gone now.
Chichi, we see you. Simi, we see you. And you say you should listen to your husband sometimes. Simi has said it. You should listen. And Simi, you did not hear. Simi actually talked about your how much you were going to spend on your wedding.
Yeah,
He mentioned it that day he came around, so you need to defend yourself much later. So this is more like the last question. I don't know if to call it a question or if more like an
Simi, please don't block the photographer. He's your friend.
It's your friend.
your friend, please.
She'll block him from where?
I don't know what Instagram or something.
It's okay.
So this is more like whatever advice, because I know last week someone did ask for advice from you guys with regards to the planning of the wedding, expenses, and the life after. No, so I'm going to look at Clinton and Busola with regards to life after, but both of you, Prince and Sharon, what kind of advice? I know you've given people a bit of advice, with regards to having that account for themselves. But what other advice would you give people with regards to the whole process of planning and trying to either break the bank or living within their means?
I hope my advice will not be skewed to one side. But what I think, what the advice I'd give is communication is the one most important thing. Be ready to compromise. So don't be stuck to something. This applies to men, this applies to women. With women, I accept there are certain things that, men cannot win when it comes to these things. And as much as, as much as you can as a guy, I think it's reasonable to accommodate some of these
Needs.
these
And
these otherwise
Are they needs?
unexplainable,
Oh my
Let's
God,
not go into
Chidima,
design.
please.
indefendable
Attachments.
attachments.
Thank you.
So as much as you can, try to accommodate it, because at the end of the day, it's important to her. Okay. I know someone who, if it was left to him, he'll probably not even want to have a wedding at all. They want to have something small, 10 close people. But because of the woman, they are planning a wedding, around 500 people or so. Yeah.
Why does it feel like I know the person is so close?
It's
I'm feeling it.
so sometimes try to accommodate the fact that the women, this is something important to them. In the same way, the women should also try and ensure that they communicate with the man, and although they are attached to these things, they can also be reasonable and remember that the wedding is one day. And 90% of the people who will be in attendance will not give you a pound, will not come with a gift, will not add value to you in any single way. And deal with things like that. Communicate. I think that's the bottom line.
Okay, and Sharon, I'll take Sharon, then I'll take a comment, then Busola and Clinton.
So this is advice towards
Yes,
planning.
towards the planning.
I think for me, one thing I realized that I thought I was very good at during my planning stage was communication. You think you're good at certain things until it's something you're quite attached to, and then you realize that you need to compromise and you need to learn how to listen all over again. So I think one thing I would agree with Prince on is communication is key, and that should start from the very beginning. And I think let's not just leave it to when you've got a ring on your finger. Once you're dating for a purpose. You're not just to gallivant and be holding hands and going cinema dating. You're dating for a purpose. And I think these things, you need to understand each other's priorities, each other's potential attachments, each other's understanding of certain things. And once you grasp that from an earlier stage, it will make the planning process easier. And I think during the planning process, communicate. Don't do anything behind each other's back, and don't do anything you know the other person does not agree with, even if it's something that's very dear to you. Everything should go back to God in prayer. If they're not understanding or hearing or listening, go to God and let their hearts be open to it. You might not end up fulfilling what it is that you want, but at least the person has understood, listened, and you guys have compromised, communicated, and reached a solid foundation. And I think in terms of breaking the bank, it's never worth it. Prioritize, but do not do it to the extent of your marriage suffering. The wedding day, as you said, many will come, many will dance with you on the dance floor, but at the end of the day, who's going to go away home together as a new body? It's you and your husband.
With your bank account.
With that same account.
It's
It'll be you and your partner. So do not do it just to please others. Do not do it to fulfill social media criteria. And also, don't do it outside of what you know you're capable of.
Okay. So, as I said, I'll read a comment. Apparently, Prince, a lot of people know who sounds that way with regards to the guy.
How did they know the
I
person?
don't
I didn't
know.
mind to read that.
Well, Vicky says you're making a lot of sense. And Somi says, Prince, you're making so much sense in your comments around planning and having a joint wedding purse. One subtle point though, a wedding is also for the couple to enjoy as well, not just to cater for their guests. The couple also deserves to treat themselves on their special day too. With planning, you can spend less and still get more. Lastly, to digress, can a man put his savings towards bride price for the woman he
Bride
loves?
price,
That's another one.
Bride price.
That's a
Let's
big
not even
one.
start that
We'll discuss that one for another day.
That's
Maybe
a
you'll
good
be
one.
our guest.
Yeah, very much.
Maybe it's not that far. 1 hour. Busola.
Yes.
So let's hear what you've got to say. Life after. What has it been like?
Can I talk about planning a little
Planning.
bit?
Yeah, that's fine.
So with planning, I would say first thing first. I know they say communicate, work together. First thing first, what worked for me was have a spreadsheet. Put what you want on the spreadsheet, list every single detail and list get quotes, and don't just stick to this is the person I want to stick to this person. I've always loved what they do, they must be at my wedding. No, and trust me, they will not be at your wedding. They will send the thing to you probably a few days to your wedding, but they will not be at your wedding. And it doesn't mean they'll put you on their page either way. So don't feel like because you want to be on their Instagram page, they probably have 10 weddings on that same day. So you're probably not the highest payer that day. It's the person that's the highest payer that will get the slots that day. So you need to be very rational on what you're doing and with your budget and communicate. But you will fight when you communicate, but try and communicate logically and think of how the other person wants the message to be passed across, not just about yourself. Life after. What's the life after? The advice for life after is, obviously, before the wedding, there's so much support, friends, family. The ones that will come around you. The ones that will greet you from afar will greet you from afar. But after then, it's you, yourself, and your partner. That is it. And then you have to think of, obviously, you have to consider that before the wedding. And like our wedding, we got married, and then there was no payday till a month later. So you have it's funny, but you have to think of that as well, because it's not like, oh yeah, we're married now. Yeah, we're going on honeymoon now. We go back to the UK. The fridge is empty because we've not been home for 3 weeks. The fridge is empty. Who's going to fill the fridge up? Oh, we still have under 4 weeks to payday. No, so you can't literally empty your bank or all your money because you want to get married. And so the life after is real and it's going to meet you. So you have to be prepared for that as well. But yeah, I think it's been bliss. I must say.
Mr. Wilson,
Advice.
life after.
Life after. Okay, I'll just comment to planning also. One thing I enjoyed planning for my wedding was the fact that I was planning my wedding, to be sincere, I didn't give it. Let me use the F word. I didn't care about the guests. I was not, but I didn't consider anything on my wedding day about the guests. Once, I never did. I never put them into my brain while planning for my wedding. It was what I wanted for my wedding. I didn't say, oh, the guests will like this, or the guests will like this. No, the only place I even considered the guests was that I didn't want certain people there. And I didn't want that's what I even considered. I didn't want my invites to get to some certain people. So I was very, very, very particular about people not uploading my invites. I was particular about people that could not get the invites to must be on the guest list. So there was invite and there was guest list. So in case the invites could not get to you,
you're on the list.
You'll be on the list, so you won't be bounced, because I was particular that you would be bounced if you're not there. And I was joining to everybody say, tell your friend, if you know this social person, based on my wedding, if person did not come with invite or you're on the guest list, you will be bounced. So it's more about the couple. She made sense about the spreadsheet, which she did. And it's not everything you've put down on the spreadsheet that you would follow.
I agree. Some things on our spreadsheet do not make it to the wedding.
Don't make it to the wedding. And some things that we put high price on, we finally got it cheaper.
Even after paying someone, an example was the cake. We paid deposit and then found the quote cheaper after paying deposit. I went back to this woman and I pulled her and said, oh, I'm sorry. You know, you're not doing both my cakes anymore. You're just doing one because my mom's friend is doing the other one. I had to pull out the second one because when I found out that even though our quote was like cheaper than, we got 5 quotes for cake, our quote was the cheapest. But after paying our deposit, we now found someone else cheaper. So you always find. You always find.
So yeah, it's not compulsory. So if you put so we had a list. We had the quotes we already have in our brain that it look like, and most of them were cheaper than what we had. So you can also maybe adjust and see get the best. And she wanted a particular spin, whatever.
360 baby.
360 baby. She was giving me prices. I was like,
360 what?
360 camera. Oh yeah, the standard magazine. She was giving me prices on different people, whatever. I didn't bother about that thing. I didn't care. I was not even interested
Best
in it.
believe I shopped around for that.
It was not even open for discussion. Till she found a very, very lower price that the person was even really pursuing herself.
The person was
holding on the neck. Please come and do it. Okay, I will just come for 1 hour. Come and do it. That is when I was like, okay, I was in Nigeria then. I was like, okay, I have some spare change in the UK. Let me send it. And you will use it for that. So you can stay back again. Life after. Think about life after.
Definitely.
For example, where you guys will live. I was not bothered about that where we would live because I was already where I was staying. I rented that place.
The anticipation.
With the anticipation that I would get married. That's why when people were coming, oh, you were staying in 2-bedroom by yourself. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, our plan was our wedding was supposed to be April. April last year, not even December last year. It was supposed to be April last year. So timing also matters. It was April last year. Probably I'll have boxed her 20 times about the whole prices. But I was busy. I was not ready. I just go to the UK. I was trying to balance myself and blah 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 blah. I said, okay, let's see December. And December worked perfectly, even if it was times 2 of our budget because of inflation of December, inflation of Christmas party or whatever. It was still we could still afford it done in April, which would have been cheaper with the same kind of budget. So life after, to think about the house you will stay, how you guys would mobilize yourself, what you will eat and what you will plan, and counseling is also an important part of our wedding or marriage that people don't know. No matter how experienced or exposed you are, you need counseling. And I got counseling from a lot of people, from my mentor, from the church where we were getting married to, which was our church, from I have a lot of pastors, but I'm mature. I was getting counseling, I was getting life experiences, not just following, some churches that have this manual and they just, but I was getting life counseling. So counseling is also important because it helps, because most of the things I'm applying now, even if I know a lot about marriage, but the things that make sense when I counseling. Even on our wedding day, I was busy taking notes when the pastor was preaching. A lot of the pastor preached also, made sense, which I take notes to. So that would help in looking after your life after. And don't think life after is he's staying in an apartment, I'm staying in an apartment. Anytime we see, we go and say hi. We go and we go to cinema. We invite family. But she's literally in your face 24/7. Literally in your face, in your space 24/7, without makeup, with makeup, panties everywhere, and all those stuff. It's literally in your face. No, a lot of people are not open to these realities. It will be
So
there,
everything is there.
staring at you 24/7. You are seeing that in
Real
the
element.
in the realest elements. She probably farting and all those stuff that you will. No.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. She doesn't do that.
Disclaimer.
But I'm just
I don't.
She said I've seen people get
She
married.
doesn't fart. We need to take her to hospital.
I've seen people get married
I don't do this.
and they are oblivious to these things. They don't know this is it will come real like that. You can give me, you be like, but I'm only seeing her pretty, all made up, going out on dates. No, that's why sometimes I don't blame people that argue about people should live together first for a few months before they actually get married.
So that they can see everything.
They can see everything because there's a school of thought to that, but church doctrines and a lot of things will not permit that, but there's the school of thought to say that. The person I don't blame because these things a lot of people will not expose to it. That's why people get scared when they actually get married. I'm like, I know this is not what I was I was expecting. So this is real. It's real life.
We should go for counseling.
No, it's real life. It's a real life.
The truth
People don't know this thing. Okay, for example, sorry.
We'd love to go on.
Let me just
We'd love
add
to
this.
go on, but we've got to go.
On Sunday, on Sunday, somebody raised something about red flags. This Sunday school, this is marriage, and it's not in a red flag, and people were laughing, and a very advanced woman got up and was saying, why are they laughing, blah, 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 that. But it's serious. I've seen people I've seen a man that is snores. The bed is
The truth is, we can go on and on and on and on and on, and we will not end. Unfortunately, we cannot have part 3. We can have a topic that is similar to that and bring
Don't
Clinton on the show.
Come on, table has been broken.
But first of all, we would like to thank all of our... Would like to thank our viewers, every single one of you. I can't list you all because you guys are so many. We would like to thank you all. And for those of you who stayed because we went over our time, we thank you. We'd like to thank our IT crew. And obviously, I've got to thank these guys here because without them, this show would not have held today. We took their time and we really appreciate you guys, the Wilsons, Sharon and Prince. We thank you all and do have a lovely week. Thank you all and God bless.
Bye, guys.